Welcome everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Ahlan wa sahlan. Guten Tag. Today we are going through questions on combinations or sample space. Here is a question from paper 3, June 2017. And it is question number 7. Pretty is going to have a meal. She can choose one starter and one main course from the menu. So here's your menu. Starter is salad, fish, melon. Main course is pasta, rice, burger. Write down all the possible combinations Pretty can choose. This is the first of 7 questions. So press pause and have a go. When you're ready, press play to see how you answer this question. So here we go. Pretty is going to have a meal. She can choose one starter and one main course from the menu. And so we have these things here: salad, fish, melon, pasta, and so on. Write down all the possible combinations Pretty can choose. So we can have a starter and a main course. So that's what we can have. So I'm going to make sure I do this in an orderly way so I can keep track of what combinations I'm using. So I'm going to choose salad as the first one. Salad. And then I'm going to have with that one pasta. I'm going to stick with salad. And now I can choose rice. And then I can choose salad and burger as well. Now I've done salad with all the combinations there. Now I'm going to go to the next one, which is fish. And now I can choose pasta. I can go with fish and rice, which is the next one. And then I've got fish and burger. So now I've done salad, I've done fish, I've got the third one of the starters left, which is melon. And I can choose melon and pasta, melon and rice, melon and burger. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 combinations in total. Now to get a method mark, I need to make sure I've got at least 6 of these combinations to get one method mark. So that's the first question. Let's go on to another question. Now, before we do that, I just want to kind of analyze this topic a little bit. And so when we're looking at combinations or sample space, this has appeared in a paper 1, November 2019. It's appeared in paper 2 in June 2018, November 2018, June 2020, and November 2023, and paper 3, June 2017, and November 2021. I've looked at it from 2017 all the way up to 2023. So you can see this does come up quite often. Here is the next question. Okay, so this is now a paper 2 question. And you can see this is from November 2023. Harris is buying a shirt and a tie. He has a choice of 3 colors of shirt and a choice of 3 styles of tie. So you've got the shirt is white, blue, or gray, and the tie is plain, striped, or checked. Harris is going to choose one shirt and one tie. List all the possible combinations Harris can choose. This is our second question of 7 questions altogether. So press pause, have a go. When you're ready, press play for the answer. Okay, so let's go through this. Harris is buying a shirt and a tie. So he's got a shirt and a tie. He has a choice of 3 colors and a choice of 3 styles of tie. So you got white, blue, gray, plain, strike, and checked. So we're going to go with a shirt and a tie. Okay. Harris is going to choose 1 shirt and 1 tie. List all the possible combinations Harris can choose. So we've got to choose a shirt and then a tie. And then to make sure we cover all combinations, we have to do it in an ordered way so that we don't get confused, just like the previous question. So the first one, I'm going to stick with white. So I can have white and plain. I can have white and striped. I can have white and checked. So those are 3 combinations there. Now I've covered all of the possibilities with white. Now I'm going to go to blue. So I've got blue and plain, blue and striped, blue and checked. Now I've done all combinations with blue. Now I'm going to go to the last one, which is gray, gray and plain, gray and striped, gray and checked. And now I've covered all the different combinations. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 combinations. And again, for this question, you get 1 mark for having 4 of these. So slightly different from the last question. So that's question 2. Let's go on to the next question. Now, here's a little quote for you. Every expert was once a beginner. I'm not sure who said that, but that's a nice quote. If you know who the author of who said this, and write it in the comments below. Here is the third question. Okay, here is question 3. This is from November 2021, and it's paper 3. Question 7. There are 3 cards in bag A and 2 cards in bag B. There is a letter on each card. So bag A has E, F, G. Bag B has J and K. James takes a card from bag A and then a card from bag B. List all the possible outcomes. So this is the third of 7 questions. Have a go. Press pause. When you're ready, press play for the answer. Let's go through the answer. There are 3 cards in a bag and 2 cards in 3 cards in bag A and 2 cards in bag B. There is a letter on each card. James takes a card from bag A and then from bag B. So what we need to do is we need to have bag A and then we have bag B. So that's what we need to choose, and we have to list all the possible outcomes. Now remember, we have to do this in an ordered way, so it's easier for us to keep track, and we can do this. So just like the first 2 questions, similar thing again. So we're going to have bag A, I'm going to go with E first. So we can have E and J, and then I can have E and K. So E, J, E, K. Okay, so that's the 2 combinations. Now I'm going to go to the next letter in A. Bag A, I'm going to go to F. So I'm going to have F and J, F and K, F, J, F, K. And now I'm going to go to the next letter G, and then I'm going to pick J and then K again. So G, J, and G, K. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 combinations. And this question is worth 2 marks. To get 1 mark, I need to have 4 of these. Let's go to the next question. This is from paper 2, June 2020. It's a calculator paper. Question 12. Lucy uses a code to open a lock. The code is a letter followed by a 2-digit number. The letter is L or U. The number is a prime number between 20 and 30. Write down all the possibilities for Lucy's code. This is question 4 of 7. Press pause, and when you're ready, press play for the answer. So this one is different from the other questions, so slightly harder as well. So let's go through this. Lucy uses a code to open a lock. The code is a letter followed by a 2-digit number. So we've got a letter followed by a 2-digit number. Okay. The letter is L or U. The number is a prime number between 20 and 30. Write down all the possibilities for Lucy's code. So we have got a letter and a 2-digit number. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to use boxes because just to kind of think about how this is. So the first one is going to be a letter and then it's a 2-digit number. And similar to before, I'm going to have those letters L or U. And the second one is a prime number between 20 and 30. So this one has, I've got to work out the prime numbers between 20 and 30. Okay, so prime numbers between 20 and 30. So step 1, I'm going to do this. And then step 2 will be my letter and my 2-digit number. So I'm going to write out all of the numbers between 20 and 30. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Now, prime numbers don't have any numbers that go into them. So 20 is not a prime number. 2 goes into 20, 10 goes into 20. So I'm going to cross this out. 21, what number goes into 21? 3 times 7. So 3 times 7, for example, goes into that. So 3 and 7, 2 times 10 gives me 20. So that is there. 22 could be 2 times 11. So 22 is not a prime number. 23, it's 1 times 23. So apart from 1, there's no other number. So this is a prime number. 24 is 2 times 12, for example. So this is not a prime number. 5 goes into 25. So this is not a prime number. 26 is an even number. So 2 goes into this one. 27, 3 times 9. And so this is not a prime number. 28 is an even number. 2 times 14. 29 is not an even number, and there are no numbers apart from 1 that go into it. 29 times 1, or 1 times 29. So this is a prime number. And 30, 3 times 10 gives me 30. So this is not a prime number. Okay, so I only have 23 and 29 that are left over. So I've got the letters that can be L or U, and then I've got 23 and 29. So I have to do what I did previously. So I'm going to have one letter. So I'm going to start with L, then I'm going to go to 23, and then I'm going to have L and 29, and then I'm going to go to the next letter, which is U and 23, and then U and 29. So in this example, I only have 4 combinations. And there's a lot more work compared to the other questions. So you can see This question is much harder than the previous questions. To get 1 method mark, you need to have 2 out of these 4. So this is a 2-mark question. Okay, hope you found that helpful. Let's go to the next question. Question 5. Okay, it's getting slightly harder now. Let's get the question in. Yeah, so this question is worth 2 marks again. And this question is from June 2018, paper 2. So it's a calculator paper. Mohsin, Yusuf, and Luke are going to play a game. At the end of the game, one of them will be in first place, one of them will be in second place, and one of them will be in third place. Use the table below to list all the possible outcomes of the game. And this is the 5th question of 7. So press pause, have a go. When you're ready, press play for the answer. Okay, so let's go through this again. Mohsin, Yusuf, and Luke are going to play a game. At the end of the game, one of them will be in first place, one of them will be in second place, and one of them will be in third place. Use the table to list all possible outcomes. So again, in a similar way to last time, I'm going to have the first person, the second person, and the third person. And to make it easier for me to keep a track of this, I'm going to do it in an ordered way. And this time around, it's harder because I've got 3 different names. So the first one is, I'm going to start with Mohsin. I'm going to follow the order of the question. Mohsin is first. Yusuf is second. And then Luke is third. Okay, so I'm going to keep Mohsin as he is. But this time I'm going to swap Yusuf and Luke. So this is going to be Luke and this is going to be Yusuf. Okay, so now Mohsin is the same and these 2 have been swapped. Now I'm going to go to the next person, Yusuf. So Mohsin, Yusuf is now going to be first. Yusuf, and Mohsin is going to come here, and Luke is the third person. Okay, so I've got that combination. So similar to the last one, I'm going to keep Yusuf the same. And now I'm going to swap these 2 around, Luke and Mohsin. Okay, there's no other combinations here. So now I'm going to go to the next name, Mohsin, Yusuf, and Luke. So Luke is the third person. So he's first. And I'm going to keep Mohsin and Yusuf, the order of the names coming here. So Luke stays the same. And now I can swap these 2 around, Yusuf and Mohsin. And now I've covered all the different combinations. This is a 2-mark question. This is a 2-mark question here, as you can see. And to get 1 mark, you need to get at least 3 of these correct. Okay, so hopefully you're getting the hang of this. So this is worth 2 marks. Let's go to the next question, and it's going to get slightly harder. It's not the question, it's on that page. So this is from November 2019, paper 1, but we're going to scroll down the page. And this question is question 11. Mason throws a coin 3 times. The outcome of each throw is either heads or tails. List all the possible outcomes of the 3 throws. And it's worth 2 marks. So this is the 6th question of 7. Press pause and have a go. When you're ready, press play for the answer. Okay, let's start with this one. Question 11, Mason throws a coin 3 times. So he's throwing the coin 3 times. The outcome of each throw is either heads or tails. list all possible outcomes of the 3 throws. Now this one is a little bit tricky, so I'm going to kind of use colors to help me out here, because it can be quite tricky, and I think the colors will help me. So let's say I have heads, heads, and heads. So I've got a head, head, head. Okay, so what am I doing? Before I do anything, I need to make a plan. So what's my plan? My plan is I've got first throw, second throw, and a third throw, and I need to be doing this in an ordered way, just like all the other questions. So the first one is going to be heads, heads, heads. So that's quite simple. I'm going to now keep it heads, but this time I'm going to change it to a tail. The last one is going to be a tail. And so this is now head, head, and tails. So head, oops, on color pen, heads, heads, and tail. Okay, now the next one. So this time round, I'm going to have heads is going to stay the same, but this time this becomes a tail and this stays as a head. So I've got head, tail, and head. So head, tails, and head. Okay, now I go to the next one. So instead of having heads, I'm now going to have tails. So I've got tails, then I've got a head and another head. Tail, head, and head. And now if I swap these two round, they're the same outcome. So this doesn't really change. So this is what I've got here. Okay, so now I started off with the heads. Now I'm going to start off with tails. So I'm going to have tails, tails, and tails. Tail, tail, and tail. Tail, tail, and tail. I'm going to have tails again. Tails again. Then I'm going to have a head. So tail, tail, and a head. Tail, tail, and a head. And so similarly to before, I'm going to have tails again, but this time these swap. So it becomes a head. Then I've got a tail again. So this is tail, heads, and tail. Tail, heads, and tail. And then the last one is, instead of having tails, I'm going to have heads. Then I'm going to get a tail and a tail. So heads, tail, and tail. Heads, tail, and tail. And so those are all the possible combinations. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 possible combinations. This is worth 2 marks. If you want to get 1 mark, then you need to get at least 4 correct. So this one is a bit more tricky from the other ones, because you can easily get tangled up with these. So I've used colors just so that you can also see what possibilities there are. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, and if you're finding this video useful, subscribe to the channel so that you see other videos, and please share this with your friends. Okay, here, this is the next question. This is from November 2018, paper 2, so it's a calculator paper. And you can see from this question, it's not really, it doesn't start off like the other questions. What we have is the last part here. So let me read the question, then you can press pause. So Victoria throws an ordinary fair six-sided dice once. She says the probability of getting a 3 is half the probability of getting a 6. Is Victoria correct? You must explain your answer. Andy throws the dice twice. He says the probability of getting a 6 on both throws is 2 out of 6. Is Andy correct? You must explain your answer. And then the last bit, Indre throws the dice once. She also throws the coin to get heads or tails. List all the possible outcomes she can get. And this one is worth 2 marks. So altogether, this question is worth 4 marks. Okay, so press the pause and have a go. And when you're ready for the answer, press play. Okay, let's go through this. Question 14. Victoria throws an ordinary fair six-sided dice once. So it's a fair six-sided dice. Okay, so there's an equal chance. There's an equal chance of every number. So you can have 1, you can have 2, you can have 3, you can have 4, you can have 5, and you can have 6. She says the probability of getting 3 is half the probability of getting a 6. So what's the probability of getting a 3? So how many 3s do we have here? There's only 1 3. So there's 1 3 out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possibilities. So the probability is 1 over 6. The probability of getting 3 is half the probability of getting a 6. What's the probability of getting a 6? Probability of getting a 6 is also 1 out of 6. So the probabilities are the same. So is Victoria correct? No. You must explain your answer. So the probability of getting 3 is 1/6, which is the same probability for getting a 6. Okay, so is Victoria correct? No, the probability of getting 3 is 1/6, which is the same probability of getting a 6, 1 over 6. Okay, so I've kind of explained my answer there. Andy throws the dice twice. So here he's throwing it 2 times. He says the probability of getting a 6 on both throws is 2 out of 6. So because he's throwing it twice, probability of 6, this is once, and this is probability of throwing it twice. I'm just putting 2 boxes because it's saying twice. And the probability of getting a 6 is 1 over 6, 1 over 6. The probability of getting a 6 on both throws. So when we've got one probability and another probability, we are multiplying the fractions. We're multiplying them. So when we're multiplying them, 1 over 6 times 1 over 6 is 1 times 1, 6 times 6. The probability is 1 over 36. The probability of getting a 6 on both throws is 2 over 6. Clearly that is not right. Is Andy correct? So the answer is no. The probability of getting 6 on both throws is 1 out of 36. Okay. Now there is also another way of working it out, which is using the sample space. If you think of the throws, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then on the other side, you have the same 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you fill in this table. So you can get 1 and 1, 1 and 2, all the way to 6 and 6. You can see there are 36 outcomes here, and out of the 36, only one of them is 6 and 6. So that's also another way of doing it. It's a bit long-winded, but yes, it may be long, but you're guaranteed to get to the correct answer. Right, let's go into the last part. So these two parts were not in any way linked or were similar to the other questions we've done, but part C is. And so in an exam, sometimes you have to read all of the questions and make sure you are getting an idea of how to do it and not skipping things. And now, if we go to the last one, Indre throws the dice once. She also throws a coin to get heads or tails. List all the possible outcomes you can get. So similar to before, she is throwing a dice once and a coin. So our outcomes are dice, and then we've got a coin. So that's one thing. And the next thing is we have to keep the order the same. So similar to before. So on a dice, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. On a coin, you can get head or tails. So we keep the order. So if I have the dice, 1 and a head, 1 and a tail, you just spike it on the lines, 1 and a head, 1 and a tail. I can also have 2 and a head, 2 and a tail. Then I go to the next number, 3 and heads, 3 and tails, 4 and heads, 4 and tails, 5 and head, 5 and tail, 6 and head, 6 and tail. So you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 combinations. And again, it's worth 2 marks. If you were to get a method mark, then you need to have, I think it was 6 of them correct. Okay, so those are all of the questions on combinations and sample space that I've found from 2017 all the way to 2023. If you like this video, then do give it a like and share it with your friends if you found it useful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Take care. Bye bye. Assalamu alaikum.